Hello everyone and welcome to another video of Vivek Learns. In the last video that we had done, we had solved the PepCoding Level 1 questions of arrays. So from this video we will start solving this stacks and queues questions of Level 1 PepCoding. So before that we are introduced to some basics of the stack. Okay. So you can read through this module that we have, right? And basically, it explains the different operations that we have. How do we declare a stack? We have this push, which pushes to the top of the stack, pop, which removes from the top of the stack, and peek, right? Which peeks to the peaks at the top of the stack, whichever element, right? Okay, so you can go through this and let's move to the question that we have for stacks. So here the first question is duplicate brackets. So you are given a string expression representing exp. Assume that the expression is balanced, that the opening and the closing brackets match with each other, but some of the pairs may be extra needless. So let's consider this example, right? So we have this expression. So here we have equal number of closing and opening brackets, and also any element if not, if you see any element like this element, it is enclosed only once. There are no duplicate enclosing that we have. But if we consider the second scenario that we have, which is given here, if you see this C plus D is enclosed two times. So if we have something like this, then we return true. That is the expectation, right? Else we return false. You are required to print true if you detect extra brackets and false otherwise. So let us try to solve this. So to solve this, we'll create a new package. It's tags. Let us have a class defined with duplicate brackets and a main method. Let us take some inputs. Enter an expression. And we capture it in a string, right? Next line, correct? So we get the expression. Now, what do we do? So, what we can do is that we can add the elements in the stack. But when do we add? So, if we see an opening bracket, we can start adding the elements. And if we see a closing bracket, we can start popping the elements. So, let's say we do that. Let me erase this first and let's consider this as our stack. Let me copy the question. Let me copy these elements that we have, right? Or this false one that we have. Okay, yep. So we have this. So what do? We start inserting into the array. We start pushing into the array when we see a opening bracket. So we start pushing. So we enter the first element as opening bracket, right? And the second element is A, correct? The third element is plus sign that we have here. Then again we insert B. Now we encounter a closing bracket. So we are looping through this, through all these characters. And while looping, we found that the next element is a closing bracket. So as soon as we encounter a closing bracket, what we do is we we start popping. So we pop till we find an opening bracket. Once we find an opening bracket, we also pop that opening bracket. Now we iterate to the next element, right? So the next element is plus sign that we have. Now what we do is we have an opening bracket again. So we again insert here. And we have another closing opening bracket, so we again insert it. Then we have C. Then we have plus. Then we have D. And the element after that is a closing bracket, right? So once we encounter a closing bracket, what do? We start popping. We pop this, we pop this, we pop this, and this. So after we do it, what do we see? After popping, we can check if the next element that we have is an opening bracket. If it is an opening bracket, then we can see that it is a duplicate bracket, duplicate and closing bracket. So yeah, so we can write the logic in a similar fashion, right? So we can have a stack created, stack of characters, let's say. New stack, let's say. So we start iterating over this for length is a method, right? So once we have this expression, we'll get all the characters. What do we do once we get the characters? So how do we get the characters? We'll get exp dot caret method we have. Then we can give the index I here. So caret 0, 1, 2, 3 will give all these things. So let me have that expression copied here. Yep. So what do? We get the character. Okay. Let's say char ch is equals to. We check if the character is opening bracket or not. And if it is an opening bracket, we start inserting. So while, okay, so we'll have first an if condition. If ch is equals to an opening bracket, what do? We insert. So while, till when do we insert? Till we encounter a closing bracket. Ch is equals closing bracket. Till that time we insert. And once, okay, while if ch is equals to opening bracket, we keep on pushing. So we say char stack dot push push character. We have pushed a character. So I think it's better that we have a while loop here instead of this. While, let's say, int index is equals to 0. While index is not equals, index is not equals exp dot length. Exp is less than exp dot length. Then what do? We increase the index. We first get the character char ch is equals to xp dot char at index. Okay. Once we get the character, we check if ch is equals to an opening bracket. If it is an opening bracket, we insert or we push till ch is not equals to closing bracket. We push till then. So char stack dot push ch, right? And then yes, ch is equals to, we increment the index, right? Plus plus index, right? So what we do is that if we encounter an opening bracket, we push, then we increment, then we go to the next character, the next one, the next one, next one, so on, till we encounter a closing bracket. Once we encounter a closing bracket, what do? We start popping. Okay, so we pop till so what we can check here is we pop from here. So we do char stack dot pop. So we pop the element, and till when do we keep popping? We keep popping till char is not equals to closing bracket. Right? So what happens is we have this char ch. When we encounter a opening bracket, what happens is we start pushing. So we push, we increment the index, then we push again until we find a closing bracket. Once we find a closing bracket, what do we do? Okay, once we find a closing bracket, we pop. So we do pop. We do a pop. So we'll have to do some peek as well. Here stack dot peek. Oh, we have inserted into the stack now. Now what we do is we peek. So let's try to rewrite this logic. So if ch is equals to an opening bracket, then what do? We do char char stack dot push, right? Push push ch. Yeah. So we have pushed the element, but we have to keep pushing on the elements till we find an element which is not. So that logic was right. Ch is not equals to closing bracket. We do stack dot push, and then we increment the ch, right? Ch is equals to plus plus index. So once we have this, we'll get an closing bracket. Once we get a closing bracket, we pop that closing bracket. So have we pushed it? No, right? We haven't pushed. We do index plus plus now. So what will that do? It will go to the next element, right? Yeah. And then what happens is we start popping now. If ch is not equals to an opening bracket now, right? We pop. Okay. And then again to remove that last opening bracket, we'll again do construct dot pop. Yeah, so I think this will work. So once we do this, and if we peek now into the char and char stack dot peek is equals to an opening bracket, then we can say we have a boolean value is valid false. Let's have it set to false. We set the is valid. Let us have it true. And we set it to false, and then we can return. Else what we can do is we can just increment the index. Yeah, so let's go over the logic once. If we find a character which is an opening bracket, we what we'll do is, as long as we don't get a closing bracket, we'll keep on pushing. Once we get a closing bracket, we'll first increment the index, right? And then we'll start popping. So we'll start popping till we don't get. So this is wrong, correct? If ch character is not equals to, so we'll have something like char stack dot peek is not equals to, then we pop, we keep popping, then we pop once again to remove this closing bracket that we have, or opening bracket that we have, and then we do char stack dot peek. If it is an opening bracket, mm, yeah, right. So hopefully this works, and we'll have to print is valid. So we can have this index plus plus as a common thing, but let's see how it works. So we enter this expression, and this will give us a false, right? We get an empty stack exception. Where do we get it? On line 1, not 2. Oops, let me check on which line. 28. So yeah, we can have char stack dot is not empty condition here. Let me run it once more with the same expression. But we don't get any output. Let me run it from here. It is getting terminated without printing anything. What is wrong? So we can have out statements. Let's try to debug this. So what we do is we push a plus b and then this space as well as this space as well as this space and this space, and then we popping from stack this stack. Okay, we'll have to print char.peek here, but basically we have popped all those elements, right? This, all these elements, then the stack is empty. Now we push into the stack C, this as well as this plus C plus B space D, and then we encounter character. Let's try to run it once. Where A plus B, have it in one bracket, and then we have two brackets with C plus D. So we get a response, but why isn't it printing this? It's is valid. Okay, so let's try to debug. We push A plus B, then we pop B plus A, and then the stack is empty, correct? Then we insert, then we pop again this. Oh, we should break from here, right? We should break from here. Let me have that question again. So it is a false one. So we can have the index plus plus here itself because we are incrementing the index either wise, right? Yep. So let's check once more. This should be false because it has enclosed this expression two times. Let's try to run it once more with a valid. See if it works. Yeah. Let's try again for an invalid input. Let's say I have A here. It will give false. Yep. So this was all for this video. See you guys in the next one. Thank you.